Welcome to the Mastering the Game podcast. I'm your host, Jermaine Harris. This episode is coming out a couple of weeks after I watched Madam Web, but I still wanted to share my thoughts about the movie. I went into it knowing that the movie had some poor reviews, but I tried to keep an open mind. But overall, I definitely see why people didn't like it. Basically, the movie is about Cassandra Webb protecting three students from the villain, whose name is Ezekiel. Long story short, Cassandra's power is her clairvoyance, and that became sort of unlocked after she almost drowned at work. So she's able to use that power to protect herself and the girls from the main villain. And that brings me to the first issue. It's extremely obvious that they did ADR for this movie, which basically just means that they recorded the audio in some booth. They pretty much did that with all of Ezekiel's dialogue, and you can tell that several times throughout the movie, because it was clear that his mouth movements didn't actually match what he was saying. The older I get, the more that takes me out of the movie. There's also lots of unnecessary shaky cam and viewing scenes from different angles for no reason. It becomes really jarring because they're artificially making it look like there's action going on, but this movie doesn't have a lot of action in it. There aren't really any fight scenes, at least not what you'd expect. Another thing that frustrated me a lot is the fact that the girls never actually get any powers in the movie. There are a few times in the movie where we see a vision where the girls actually have powers, but in the movie there's no point where that actually happens. So they just start the movie and end it as regular kids who become closer friends, which wouldn't be terrible if they didn't actually show something more interesting. I don't think we'll see a direct sequel anytime soon, but I do know that Sony has to keep pumping out movies every few years just to keep the rights to Spider-Man. There weren't that many things that I actually liked about the movie. I think that Ezekiel's black Spider-Man suit was pretty cool. I also liked the core idea of the movie. It's just that the execution left a lot to be desired.